All right, let's go racing. BMW time before race 2 in CT Frock.
Outstanding, Josie. Outstanding. Seeing my mate wince there with a alleged $5,000 bill for grass damage. Joined in the commentary for this one as the E46 E30 grid head out on track here at Taupō by Zach Lawrence. Welcome to you. Talking of fun, we were having a bit of fun there, a bit of self-indulgent fun on track before. Your friends in this class have had a ripping weekend, haven't they?
Absolutely splendid weekend, and it hasn't been impacted by the weather as we thought it might by this time. So there's a few people thankful there who didn't bring their wets. There's one at the front of the grid who was hoping for a little bit of rain as an equaliser. But yeah, the guys, there hasn't been much damage. A little bit of attrition as we head into this last race of the weekend.
So just as this grid rolls up for you and we get a snapshot of the competitors that will take part in this second race, probably worth pointing out, in an extension of what Josie was talking about a moment ago, that some people understandably have not a lot, but a couple have opted out of the Sunday competition just so that they can get home in time and be safe with the weather.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of guys particularly who are north of Auckland, and they thought it's prudent to make sure that they get home. So we have a little bit of attrition, as I said, this afternoon as people have decided to pack up the bags.
Out of 17 there with the surname Bagent. That's Steph Bagent, who did a super job yesterday. But it's a name that Kiwis in motorsport will be very familiar with because Kent Bagent did great things, a little while ago now, but he's still steering, which is brilliant, and even at Bathurst and places like that too.
Absolutely, and indeed, unfortunately, he's been one of those has had to go home with a breakage of his GTR E46. So he's had to pack that away and trailer that away this afternoon.
So a little like we saw earlier today with the 2-litre class, you can see a couple of them venturing into the pit lane here. This is a merged grid scenario of all sorts of different cars, and one to watch at the back coming through Repco at the moment with an amazing colour scheme, Grant Dalton.
Yeah, he's certainly used to winning, and he had a great battle in the earlier race today with Grant Bragili ahead of him. And I'm expecting him to come through the field again, probably up into the top 10 as we near the end of the race.
So we'll give you a snapshot of some of the competitors as we go here. At the front of the grid is a Mini, and of course there is BMW lineage and connection in the Mini family, of course.
Yes, it was an X-Challenge car, Mini Challenge car, so that runs a 1.6 litre supercharged motor. So he probably has the lowest horsepower. It's also front-wheel drive, the only front-wheel drive car in the field. And he was one certainly hoping for the rain this afternoon.
Kiwi flag waves. First of our competitors is away, and if they've done the number crunching right, by the time we get to the end of this one, the likes of Dalton and co will be storming through, won't they?
It will be pandemonium coming down the back straight.
All let go progressively in a handicap start, and that's a reflection of the lap times that we've been seeing from some of the competitors that would ordinarily be further down the grid.
Yes, yeah, and they're let off in intervals that allow people still to dice in the early stages, but the aim being that they're all together on that final lap.
Magic roll-up of cars. I mean, yesterday we've seen, here's a 130 in action, for example. We've seen 2002s and all sorts, haven't we?
Oh, mate, it's very, very varied indeed. It's a 2.8 E36 there as well. The wine track on it.
Oh, full drift mode.
Yes.
Engage D1NZ mode. Listen to that thing. On the limit too.
Most appropriate.
Oh, that's good. Great stuff. 100% deliberate. Just waiting to see the rest of them set off here, and there is some machinery that people have lovingly done some great work on here. Watch for these three to the left of your screen. Dalton at the back of the pack. Grant Bragili in there as well, who we saw yesterday drive superbly. Unfortunately for Dalton, he was on pole position, bagged it up at the start, an incredible amount of wheel spin, and was sort of swamped by 4 or 5 cars. Someone reminded me a little bit later that because of his time in Central Muscle Cars, there hasn't been a lot of standing starts for a while.
No, absolutely not. I think he actually touched somebody on the start grid as well, and somebody said they were coming through on starboard and therefore should have had right of way.
You'll know Grant, of course, from America's Cup competition, does some amazing things things at an international level when it comes to Kiwi sailing. But this is his escape. This is his bit of fun. He doesn't often do a lot of media around it because he just enjoys cars, racing, mates, and sort of, as I said, an escape from all that.
And that's what this class provides. It doesn't matter.
Oh, wild! Unorthodox entry into Repco, and then it sort of turned into almost rally sprint mode there, didn't it, coming through the final complex?
We've got Marty Irvine there coming through, multiple champion in the E30s and in open class, running a 328, very, very basic, $1,500 motor in that yellow car, but doing rather well this weekend.
I mentioned in the coverage with Mark Mallard of the 2-litre class a little bit earlier about the great buddy system that you guys have to help newcomers get settled, established, know what the cars are capable of, things that you might need throughout ordinary servicing between races and so on.
It's also on the day. Most people won't have every tool in their toolbox, but across the grid, someone will have something that you need, and it's very free for all in terms of help and equipment.
You're here with us in commentary now, which is great. Ordinarily, we'd like to see you behind the wheel, but you have been hands-on with a little bit of car prep between races.
Well, tyre pressures is about minimum, but I've been helping Milan Klenat, who's currently out in the front of the field in the Little Mini.
Doing a good job leading away. Purely coming through here. There you go, there's Grant Dalton, so edging ever closer to that group. Grant's got the fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 28.9 I think it is, and that compares to our race leader with a 1:51.61, so in theory you'll see huge chunks start to come out of the margin that those front-running competitors enjoy. These guys are gradually going to latch onto the back of the group.
Bob Sev right there in the white and red car, very similar body shape to Grant's blue car there, but running a latest generation twin turbo M3 motor as opposed to the blue one there, which is a normally aspirated screamer of a motor based on the E46 M3s.
Huge passion for the German mark. When did it start for you? And I would imagine it's as passionate with every other club member that's here today.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely for me, my father's purchase of a vehicle many years ago, but they certainly...
Off! Carries too much speed off the back straight into Repco, and somehow, I think that is really a bit of courtesy from Grant Baguli there, because it was going pear-shaped in front of him.
It's a pretty gentlemanly class, I must say. There may be occasional touches, but it's inadvertent.
You were saying about your dad buying one, and it started there.
Oh, absolutely. It's a long held, a very, very long held love of BMWs. The balance of the cars, the aesthetic, particularly for me, it's a straight six noise for me that I like. But it's a long held passion now.
So this little 130 here of Michael Silak, I think that is closing in on our race leader. So potentially about to see a change at the top of the standings here, and watch further down the order for that chasing trio to come through. Grant Dalton, 1 minute 28.99.
The Yugoslavs or the Croatians there, Silak and Klenats.
Millard's doing a nice job here too, not too keen to give up the position.
As long as he doesn't do anything to my tyres that I've done all the pressure for this afternoon.
Nice. Different exit from Silak. This will work in his favour. So through and side by side still as they head toward the sixth loop. And the Little Mini holds its own. That's actually quite nice through that part of the track, isn't it?
Very good under brakes and very good pulling itself out of the corners.
Front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive as well. So, and then in the background, is that
that's Nigel Patterson
in an E30, I think.
E30. That car would have done probably 50,000 kilometres of race miles over the years. Done Targas, all sorts.
With a number plate on it, so if you wanted to, could drive home as well.
Absolutely.
Up into the top turn, what we call Tuhara turn 11 here. If you get good drive out of that turn, it can set up a run down the back straight, and that is exactly what Silak's done here. So they'll run side by side here. In theory, should have the...
Definitely will have the legs here.
Yep, gets it done and will take the lead. A couple of moves in the background there too. Was it Irvine and Foreman? I'm not sure. So we drift back.
M3 there. We have Rick Dodson in the green car. He's progressed into the open class, having put a 2.8 litre motor in his previous 2 litre car. The blue car there is Andrew Sharp's new addition to the series. It's based on a 335i twin turbocharged vehicle.
We're inside, just inside the top 10. Just keeping an eye on the sort of numbers that we're seeing from Grant Baguli and Seb Wright. And here we go back to the They are continuing to duke it out, these two. Dalton is not as close as I thought he would be to them just at this stage. And this squabble is not helping their mission to chase down the pack.
That's the key in a handicap race. If you're squabbling, you will be going backwards relative to the front of the field.
4 laps remain in this one, so maybe the handicapping numbers are a bit too on the tough side for this group. Select with now 0.9 of a second out in front, but Patterson making some inroads as well, and there's some real movers in that back end of the top 10 that are starting to come through.
Now that number 10 car of Martin Day, that will be a one to watch because that's pretty rapid. He's only 9 seconds down.
People have got a bit of a love for this kind of car. If they wanted to get involved, they can find out more about the BMW Car Club, can't they? Get involved in the BMW Driver Series and the various different iterations that it offers.
Yes, and you don't have to start out with racing either. If you make contact with the BMW Car Club, there are track days that you can do. I hope that's not one of my tyres.
Now just got in a little bit too hot, I think, at the end of the back straight there. So was in P2, but it's about to drop right down the order, as you can see there. So this is a cool looking car with the trademark colours.
And that's a factory car, a Cup car. It's a M235i Cup car. There were 2 in the grid, but unfortunately Barry Kirkman has gone home in order to not have to ford a river. So he goes home later on today.
Wow, pretty wild through there. Interesting line.
Here comes Graham Ball in the white M3. Graham Ball, a multiple champion in the 2 litre class, a very fast young driver. And also a massive of the class overall. He and his father, they prepare a lot of the vehicles across the different divisions.
That's what it's done. It's sprung up a bit of industry around it as well, the series, hasn't it?
Oh, most definitely. There's a number of people that you'll see common stickers to a lot of the vehicles from companies that have helped people, and certainly Peter and Graham Ball have been central to that.
For the series, where to from here?
Pukekohe for the last meeting ever at Pukekohe for us in just a couple of weeks' time. So that'll be a very significant round for a lot of people.
Very special.
Very special. A lot of people started there.
And that's for the race lead. We've just switched from some of the different battles that have been happening, and appropriately timed too. Yeah, and he gets by the 130 and takes the race lead. We'll get, I think, 2 laps to go this time around. So Baguli's made his way to 20th, Seb Wright to 19th. So, but they're 29 seconds away from the race lead. It's not going to be enough.
It's looking like Day's day, I'd say. I think he's got to the front early, and he's going to have clear laps when these guys are going to have to battle through slower people. If they get them through the infield, that will negate the horsepower advantage they normally have.
There's Seb Wright in the mix there, and Baguli as well. That red machine that we saw coming through before was Broadhurst in about 13th, I think. So they will make fast work of this group here, but it's just a margin to the leaders with, what are we talking, 1.5 to go, and traffic's not making it easy for him either.
No, they've got the entire infield section to make up in a couple of laps, so I think it might be a step too far for the big boys.
We'll see. They need to clear this group and clear them pretty quickly. So Baguli, frustrated here, gets a little sideways out of that corner and it is his job to get by. The lead driver doesn't necessarily have to do that.
No, absolutely. No, they can hold their line. As long as they hold their line, there's no moving under brakes or anything like that. It's the responsibility of the passing driver to make the move.
Invariably, you know, the gentlemanly or the ethical thing to do is to hold your line, so to speak, not be erratic in that regard, obviously. So we drift back here and have a look at the 777 coming through.
Right there.
That's on ball, so that's, I think, the 15th place. So down the back straight, looking for our race leader who's just crossed the start-finish line, and I think got the last lap board to go this time. So Repco last lap for our leader. And looking back to that group of Severide and Baguli, and they're literally just coming through Repco now. So our that is the reminder from the great team at Motorsport New Zealand Race Control that the reverse grid race, the Premier class, not too far away here from heading out onto circuit. In the meantime, well, it's daylight back to second place pretty much at the moment, isn't it? People will remember that the days are great supporters of motorsport here in New Zealand, and this car, I had a chance to have a look at it last weekend at Hampton Downs, and Dale ITM, of course, he's literally driving through the Dale ITM Pines section of the circuit right now, hugely passionate in all sorts of ways, right down to kind of the grassroots level of motorsport.
Absolutely. It's not just in baseline sponsorship, but in the volunteer base that they generate. It's extraordinary. They live and breathe motor racing.
Indeed, lovely people too. So down into the final section through Repco. Nice job. He's about to take the checkered flag here. Well-deserved win too. My co-commentator is clapping about the result here in the commentary box. Well done. So where did that next group, how much further up the grid did they get? Baguli looked like he got to about 16th place, but they're picking off, Dalton coming with him, they're picking off a few more of them in the final few corners. Here they come.
As they come through now.
But the handicap not quite working in their favour, the final number. Over the line they come. They're in the top 15, I think, the pair of them, but we thought maybe with another lap or two, be a very different story for that.
Very different story indeed. Sometimes it works for you.
Baguli got to 11th and Grant Dalton 12th. There you go, as the checkered flag flies here at Taupō International Motorsport Park. So thank you for being with us in commentary. But we'll wrap this up very shortly. When will we see you on track next?
I hope Pukekohe, but it may be around later into March or April.
We've done a super job in commentary, thank you, but we know you want to do a bit of racing as we check the final results for you for the BMW E46 E30. Martin Day takes it out in the end from David Whitburn. Michael Selak too, who did a great job very early on in that 130.
Absolutely.
Nice performance.
Yeah, very good performance there.
Crichton would get to 4th place, and then we drift further back. Well done to Bob Severide as well, inside the top 10. He made good work of the traffic, didn't he?
Most definitely. I think the key thing was getting ahead of Baguli and Dalton and staying ahead of them. Once they start to get swamped by people behind, it tends to push them back further in the field. Traffic
was the story for Baguli and Dalton and a few others, and of course the handicapping system. Some of the highlights for you of the BMW E46 E30 race early on. We kind of saw a bit of drifting happening, Zach,
yes,
didn't we?
The open class boys have certainly plenty of horsepower to play with, so that's definitely on the cards.
From the pit lane, the fast runners started this handicap race, and Severide got a little bit wild as they came through the Repco section as he battled with Grant Baguli. This one here was almost no track limits. All 4 wheels off at the final corner. Lock brake for the Mini, a car that you know well.
My tyres, they're my tyres.
Meantime, the 444 of Baguli making his way through. No problems for Martin Day in that beautiful car. In the end, he would greet the checkered flag first and take the race out here at Taupō. Well, grab a quick commercial break in our coverage here. Don't forget, Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship, the reverse grid not too far away here in Taupō.
Well, the Taupō curse continues. I realised before that to date I failed to have a clean race at Taupō without having a mechanical issue or a clean round. That continues to be the case. Off the line, the car immediately started misfiring and then shut off. I had to cycle ignition, which did nothing, cycle it again and the car came back to life. Got around turn 1 and the car started breaking up. I feel like I did that whole race maybe on 5 cylinders, or it certainly wasn't running right. And mid-corner it kept dying and coming back on. Like a weird fuel starvation issue or something. But it was basically giving me a clutch kick mid-corner, so I was very sideways for the first, I think probably lap or maybe 2, while I tried to figure out how to drive around it. I haven't even looked where I finished, it wasn't worth it. I assumed dead last. Car was, I think I was just lucky to finish, to be honest. But onwards and upwards, we'll figure out what's wrong with it, I hope, and fix it, and we'll be back to